How does it feel to be receiving an induction into the Oregon Music Hall of Fame?
It's very gratifying. It makes me feel wonderful, actually. It means a lot to me.
And were you surprised? I know how it works. Terry called you up on the phone, right?
Yeah, I was totally surprised. I could not have been more surprised.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I've been doing this for a long while and been in the Portland area, but also I've traveled a lot. And I just figured it was one of those things that wasn't going to happen. For one thing, I live in the state of Washington, you know. So I just kind of had it was something I wasn't concerned about. I just figured it wasn't something that was going to happen. But I couldn't have been more complimented or pleased when it did.
And as you look back on your career, what do you think led you to this point? In other words, what do you think the Oregon Music Hall of Fame looked at and said, oh yeah, we got to induct this guy?
Well, I mean, I have a pretty, you know, after all these decades, I've accomplished a few things. I've played with some real, I think, world-class musicians, and I've been on over 60 recordings, and on the, you know, I've traveled all 50 states, 15 countries. I've also done a lot in music education. I also taught at University of Oregon for 22 years. I'm a Yamaha drum technician, or a clinician, and done a lot of that kind of clinics and master classes and stuff like that. So, and you know, I live in Vancouver, but I've been in this region for a long time. When I got off the road with, I was with Stan Kenton's band from '75 through '77. We toured like, you know, 48 weeks a year, and when I moved back here in '77, and the scene was just totally happening, and I just fell into that. So I mean, I guess that was what it is, just a body of work.
As you look back, any highlights that you can think of? You just mentioned Stan Kenton. Are there other things that stand out in your body of work?
Well, I'm like when I mentioned recording, I've been able to record as a sideman with other sidemen that are some of my heroes, like Randy Brecker and Bob Mincer, two really great jazz fusion-ish kind of players. Just being able to play in certain venues, like I got to play in Carnegie Hall and Royal Festival Hall. You know, I guess those kind of things are very memorable. There's been so many things that happened in this area too. You know, just in the region and in the Portland area. When I moved back, I did a whole bunch of playing with Tom Grant's band. That's one reason I stayed and didn't go back on the road, is because I started playing with Tom. And we had, like, you know, 4 or 5 years of, you know, 6, 7 night a week playing. And that, as I look back now, is memorable, because as I talk to my students now, it's like talking about the Civil War to them. They have nothing to compare it to, because you don't have those kind of situations where you can play nonstop for years on end, you know. I think those are the main things. The individual moments, you know, there were some TV appearances, like with Anita O'Day and the Four Freshmen, and some of these names that had been real important to me as I came up. Another thing, though, is like when I got out of high school, I didn't start playing until my last year of high school. So when I got out, I started playing at the Mount Hood Community College band. And that was like the first year of Mount Hood Community College. So the 3 years I was there, we built the foundation of what ended up being an internationally known music program. I take a lot of pride in that. That to me is really a cool thing.
As an educator, obviously, Oregon Music Hall of Fame does a lot of work raising money for
Right.
education in schools.
Right.
And I'd love to hear as an educator, I'd love to hear your thoughts about that.
Well, I had to construct a speech, for my acceptance thing, and that's basically what it is. It's a tribute to my life experience, which is all. I'm at an age where, like, guys older than me and guys my age, a lot of them didn't have a school experience. They just learned it from mentors and by performance in nightclubs and touring and that kind of stuff, being on the road. I was lucky to get that, but my foundation was all in school education, from high school to Mount Hood College up to Central Washington University. All of these people that were my teachers and mentors are the ones that created me. They formed what I am. They informed me as to what was good music and how to play and what responsibility you have to be a professional, and the parts of creativity, just all that. I learned so much in school, so I had that plus the practical experience of playing all at the same time. So I owe so much to music education. Stan Kenton is the father of jazz education, starting in the 60s. He established all these different week-long workshops around the country, and I used to do a bunch of those. And I learned how to teach by doing those, and then I was able to take the teaching into school. I taught 2 years of high school to music, and all of that practical application I had as a performer was really cool, because a lot of times educators, they go through school, they get their degree, and they teach, but they don't really have an extended period of performance. So I could bring in decades of performance into education, but I know a whole bunch of guys that play great that can't teach. So I learned how to teach and play because of music education in the schools.
That's a big woof. You know what woof is, right? Yeah. Anything else you can share, or you'd care to share?
Oh, no, I mean, well, one thing that's kind of unique is my family, the Hobbs family, has been playing music in the Portland area for over 100 years. My grandfather was a drummer, my father was a drummer. My grandmother was a theater organist for the silent movies here in the 20s. Now my daughter's a really fine vocalist, and she teaches a choir over in Vancouver. And she's been a teacher for 20-some years now. My grandson's a sophomore in the art school in Vancouver, plays trombone. He's a good musician. So that, to me, to have 5 generations, one thing that would be tremendous, my grandpa, my dad, and I all played in the Crystal Ballroom and in the Laurelhurst Club. If I could get my daughter and my grandson gigs in those 2 venues, that would be 5 generations of performance in one place. I think that's pretty cool.